Why do so few people trust Klaus Schwab and World Economic Forum? Like, why is it that they're in every single conversation of people? These guys want to control you. They want to make decisions for you. They want you to...
Oh, thank God. A 20-minute video where we're finally going to see some bad that Klaus Schwab has done. Certainly, it's not just going to be him randomly connecting dots from disjointed sentences from speeches throughout a decade or two, right? Finally, we're going to see what the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab have been up to. Thank God, I've been wanting to see this for so long. I'm so hyped.
Eat insects? There's no way they said you got to eat insects. They would never say such a thing. They would never say you shouldn't eat meat or, U.S. will no longer be a superpower. Why would they say such a thing? U.S. pays into World Economic Forum. So we decided to investigate it. We realized this man...
Wait, U.S. pays into World Economic... I thought World Economic Forum was basically just a big conference where everybody goes off. How much does U.S. pay to World Economic Forum? Wait, what even is... I thought World Economic Forum was like a big conference where all like the world people go and themselves off over how cool they are and all their ideas for the future. Like it's basically like a conference for... It's an international, non-governmental and lobbying organization for multinational companies based in Coligny, Canton of Geneva, Switzerland. Okay, two of these are fake places. Okay, dude. The foundation, which is mostly funded by its 1,000 member companies, typically global enterprises with more than US $5 billion in turnover, as well as public subsidies. Typically global enterprises with, I don't know what this means, but okay. Views its own mission as improving the state of the world by engaging business, political, academic, and other leaders. Annual meeting in Davos, mountain resort in the Alps. Anyways, give us some 3,000 paying members, among whom are investors, blah, blah, blah. Aside from Davos. I'm just curious how much the United States actually pays. The cost to be paid by companies for a delegate to the World Economic Forum were $70,000 and $120,000. Oh my God. We should fundraise and pay money to have a Destiny.gg LLC delegate in the World Economic Forum. Holy shit. Since 2013, the World Economic Forum received $60 million from U.S. taxpayers. What does that mean? So just like U.S. citizens that buy tickets? Since 2013, that's $6 million a year? Is this just people buying tickets then, or is this like the actual U.S. government? I'm just curious if the government actually... I'm sure we pay something. I'm sure we subsidize something. I'm just curious what the actual cost is. Oh, it's mostly the State Department's U.S. aid. Taxpayers paid $60 million to support the WF Grow Africa program, which facilitated... Oh, okay. All right. Makes sense. Okay.
And Klaus Schwab is actually a modern-day Nostradamus. He knows how to predict crisis from happening. He's got that kind of gift. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about how much money they've raised, their expenses on an annual basis. You'll see who was invited to be a young global leader. 3 names. Wait till you see what Tulsi, Musk, and Vivek said to World Economic Forum. We'll cover that as well, and a bunch of other things. Having said that, stay tuned. We're going to study World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab in this episode. Okay. So give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you get value out of this video. Let's get right into it. So Klaus Schwab founded World Economic Forum in 1971 as a not-for-profit foundation. It is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. It was originally called the European Management Forum, and initially his focus was in the meetings on how European firms could catch up with the U.S. management practices. This is their mission statement. Engage business, political, academic, and other leaders of society to shape global, regional, and industry agendas. Okay. Mission is committed to improve the state of the world. So far, sounds pretty good. They made a prediction on what they think is going to happen in 2030, 8 of them, which I think it's important for you to know. Here's some of the predictions. Number 1, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. By the way, this is from their website. This is a video they produced. Number 2, the U.S. won't be the world's leading superpower. Instead,
Why not just like actually look at the... I've read this stupid article. Or it's not even a dumb article. It was like an essay on like potential futures of the world. Why not like actually just read the essay? Somebody link me this. Hold on. Welcome to the year 2030. Welcome to my city, or should I say our city. I don't own anything. I don't own a car. I don't own a house. I don't own any appliances or any clothes. It might seem odd to you, but it makes perfect sense for us in this city. Everything you considered a product has now become a service. We have access to transportation, accommodation, food, and all the things we need in our daily lives. One by one, all these things became free, so it ended up not making sense for us to own much. First, communication became digitized and free to everyone. Then, when clean energy became free, things started to move quickly. Transportation dropped dramatically in price. It made no sense for us to own cars anymore because we could call a driverless vehicle or a flying car for longer journeys within minutes. We started transporting ourselves in a much more organized and coordinated way when public transport became easier, quicker, and more convenient than the car. Now I can hardly believe that we accepted congestion and traffic jams, not to mention air pollution from combustion engine. What were we thinking? Sometimes I use my bike when I go to see some of my friends. I enjoy the exercise and the ride. Kind of gets the soul to come along in the journey. Funny how some things seem never to lose their excitement. Walking, biking, cooking, drawing, and growing plants. It makes perfect sense. It reminds us of how our culture emerged out of a close relationship with nature. In our city, we don't pay any rent because someone else is using our free space whenever we do not need it. My living room is used for business meetings when I'm not there. Once in a while, I will choose to cook for myself. It is easy. The necessary kitchen equipment is delivered to my door within minutes. Since transport became free, we stopped having all those things stuffed in our home. Why keep a pasta maker and a crepe cooker crammed in our cupboards? We just order them when we need them. This also made the breakthrough of the circular economy easier. When products are turned into services, no one has an interest in things with a short lifespan. Everything is designed for durability, repairability, and recyclability. The materials are flowing more quickly in our economy and can be transformed to new products pretty easily. Environmental problems seem far away since we only use clean energy and clean production methods. The air is clean, the water is clean, and nobody would dare to touch the protected areas of nature because they constitute such value to our well-being. In the cities, we have plenty of green, death, shopping, live different kinds of lives outside the city. Okay. This basically, some guy wrote an essay. Was this 5 or 7 years ago? 2016. Somebody wrote an essay about a hypothetical future about once we're basically reached a post-scarcity society with infinite free energy, what would it look like basically? People keep presenting this. Sneeko did this too. He's they want to take everything. No, this isn't even the World Economic trying to do something. It was literally just an essay submitted to the WEF for a guy that had a take on. There's tons of essays that people submit for what could the future look like? It's so stupid. This is some random, it's some random Danish politician. Nobody gives a it's not Bill Gates. Even if it was Bill Gates, who the cares? I don't know. It's so stupid.
Handful of countries.
I'm not going to look up every single quote, but my guess is going to be that every single one of these quotes has probably some greater context behind it, where it's not the WF is trying to destroy the U.S. or destroy owning. It's just it's just stupid quotes, but okay.
We'll have to do a better job at welcoming and integrating refugees. Sounds very noble, but who knows what that means? If the world's only going to be ran by 5 countries, there's not a superpower. So can they just choose to say this 10 million will be moving to your...
Okay, hold on.
Sounds like climate change. We'll have to do a better job at welcoming and integrating refugees. Sounds very noble, but who knows what that means?
Why not go and look at what they mean? We'll have to do a better job integrating refugees, WEF. Oh, they didn't even... Oh, they're just ripping this from this stupid video. Oh. Okay.
History. Number 7, you could be preparing to go to Mars. Oh my God, can you imagine how they're trying to sell the people around the world? Scientists will have worked out how to keep you healthy in space. Science will work out how to keep you healthy in space. The start of a journey to find alien life. Number 8, Western values will have been tested to the breaking point. Checks and balances that underpin our democracies must not be forgotten. How do you feel right now? Are you watching this saying, there's no way this is true? Let me go Google this myself. Go ahead and do it. Pause the video, check it for yourself, and then come back and you'll see this is what they're telling you. If they're selling you a dream, man, this is awesome. I can't wait to live this life. Well, then follow whatever they're telling you. But if this is a nightmare type of a situation coming from their mouth to you, you may want to investigate these guys before we see them as experts and honorable leaders that we subscribe to whatever they tell us to do. Now, here's their objectives. I'm going to read to you from their website. Stay tuned. Let me just read it to you. It's not going to sound real, but let me read it to you. So look, I've been in the financial industry since 9/11, the day before 9/11, and I've owned stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, crypto, gold, you name it, I've owned it. But the one thing that's very important part of my portfolio all these years is gold. I love having a percentage of my net worth in gold that I have access to in case of many different things. A few facts you need to know about gold. Number 1, The gold market cap is $11.8 trillion. Since 2000, the compound annual growth rate for gold has been 9.24%, and during times of high inflation, 3% plus, has been 15.35%. Now, those are just some numbers for you, but there's some other benefits to add gold to your portfolio. Number one, hedge against inflation. Number two, results showed recently that 93% of central banks are working on a CBDC. So this means what? That could be a manipulated currency that they own. If you own gold, it's a non-duplicatable asset. You're now hedging against CBDC taking place. Number three, a potential cyber threat. If it happens, you don't have access to your money, you don't have access to your accounts, well, you have access to your hard physical gold. Number four is anonymous. No one knows you have that gold. And last but not least, diversification. That's why we chose to work with our new sponsor, American Hartford Gold. It's a sponsor, so retirement funds that you cannot afford to lose. American Hartford Gold will ship physical gold or silver directly to your door. Also, if you have retirement funds that you can't afford to lose, now is the time to call American Hartford Gold, a precious metal dealer you can trust. They have the finest products, amazing customer service, and a buyback commitment. They've earned a 5-star rating from thousands of reviews and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Tell them I sent you, and they'll send you up to $5,000 worth of free silver on your first order. So click on the link in the description or call 866-939-6984. Again, 866-939-6984. Globalism Net Zero, reimagining capitalism. This is being said by people who have never ran a business before. Klaus Schwab is not a businessman. He pays himself $1 million a year, but he's not a businessman. He's hurting small businesses like you and I who run businesses. He's not a fan of you. He wants to control you because he thinks he knows what's best for you. Slowing population.
Did we actually get to how he was doing that? He's a German engineer, economist, and founder of the World Economic Forum. He was chairman of the organization in 1971.
Growth. They're not saying depopulation. It's more like saying slowing population growth. It's a little bit more gentle. And
well, because population growth has been slowing since the boomers and industrialization. Oh my God.
383, it's a good number, what they're spending every year, and they're able to get a lot of money from a lot of big names. I'll read you some of the companies right now, but you may ask, why are companies partnering with World Economic Forum? Here's what McKinsey said on what the benefits are to join World Economic Forum. WF partners with many international organizations and corporations to run projects addressing global concerns. This year, collaborations are focused on pursuing a net zero pathway, nurturing resilience, reimagining globalization, and supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is DEI, in every part of society. Do you see some touches of ESG in there? I kind of read that, the DEI equals ESG, CEI, Corporate Equity Index score, all that stuff. That's kind of what you're hearing from one of the biggest consulting firms in the world, McKinsey. Now, if you're wondering what other companies are part of, let's read through some of the lists here that you may know. Accenture, AIG, Alibaba, Allianz, Amazon, Bain & Company, Bank of America, Barclays, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, BlackRock,
oh my God,
Boston Consulting Group, BP, Bridgewater Associates,
all the major players
Chevron,
are here.
Cisco, Citi, the Coca-Cola Company, Dell Technologies, Deloitte, Deutsche Bank, DHL Group, EY, which is Ernst & Young, Goldman Sachs, Google, Hewlett-Packard, HP, HSBC, Huawei, IBM, Intel, Johnson & Johnson, JP Morgan and Chase, KPMG, Lazard, MasterCard, McKinsey & Company, Meta, Microsoft, Mitsubishi, Morgan Stanley, Nestle, Open Society Foundation, George Soros, Palantir, PayPal, PepsiCo, Pfizer, PwC, Procter & Gamble, Qualcomm, Royal Philips, Salesforce, Sequoia Capital, Siemens, Sony, S&P Global, Swiss Re, Uber Technologies, UBS, Verizon, Visa, Volkswagen, Volvo, Zurich Insurance Group. See how many different industries, massive companies, multi-billion dollar behemoth companies are members and they're coming together. What's the whole purpose of this? It's a globalism to control what the smaller people don't get to do. They make the decision that's best for you. Kind of gets you thinking a little bit, right? Makes you want to be a little bit skeptical. But let's go a little bit deeper. What are some of the initiatives?
We haven't gone deep at all yet.
Just kind of interesting. Remember earlier I said Nostradamus? Check this out. The Great Reset. You want to know what book Klaus Schwab wrote and when? Here's a question for you. I'm right now about to launch my business book that's going to come out here soon called Choose Your Enemies Wisely. Do you know how long we've been working on this book? A little over 2 years. How long do you think it takes to write your book, publish it, release it to people? Even if you're fast, what would you say? A year? 18 months? Maybe you're super fast, it's what? 6 months. Watch the book this guy wrote. The book's title is COVID-19, The Great Reset, written by Klaus Schwab. Ready? for the release date, July 2020. Do you know when COVID shut down America and it was a mess, NHL, NBA, all that stuff? Mid-March. You either wrote the book, published the book, drafted the book, printed the book in 3-4 months, or you kind of timed it very well. How did you know?
Oh my God, dude. I wish I could get on the show again.
What you think on it? Am I the only crazy one? Or are you kind of processing that as well? So when people say the timing's a little off, you got to give those people a little bit of credibility for questioning the timing this way. Oh, wait for this. Famous line. You'll own nothing and be happy. Do you own anything? Are you happy? Do you live in a house you own? Is this your phone? Are you wearing the clothes you own? Do you like owning stuff that's yours, that you worked hard for? Well, according to him, you ain't gonna own none of that stuff, but you're still gonna be very happy. Klaus. And number 4 is Young Global Leaders Program, which he launched in 2004. It seeks to identify and nurture the next generation of leaders, recognizes individuals under 40 for their professional accomplishments, commitment to society, and potential to contribute to shaping the future. 1,400 members, alumni of 120 nationalities, includes civic and business innovators, entrepreneurs, technology pioneers, educators, activists, artists, journalists, and many more. This list includes, and I'm going to read some more names for you.
Oh boy, another list of names.
Putin's one, Trudeau's another one, Merkel, Macron, Newsom, Yarden, and many others. And by the way, they divided by different industries. Let me read you some other names that you may know. Pete Buttigieg, Chelsea Clinton. I know her husband is a friend, okay, a friendly podcast guest we've had before. Nikki Haley, Adam Kinzinger, Jonathan Soros, son of George Soros, Lawrence Summers,
George
Paul
Soros,
Krugman,
contrary to many of the elite members of the kleptocracy that run this country,
Sanjay Gupta,
is not a
Andrew
vampire.
Ross Sorkin,
He sold
Thomas
his
Friedman,
violence
George
of all the corrupt
Stephanopoulos,
hegemons raping your local
Murdoch,
elections. This one should
Maria
be injecting
Bartiromo.
adrenochrome.
Now here's for technology and social media. Bill Gates, Steve Ballmer, Bezos, Sergey Brin and Larry Page, Eric Schmidt, Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg, Sheryl Sandberg. From Great Britain, Tony Blair, Niall Ferguson, Charles Allen. Remember how I told you Tulsi, Musk, and Vivek? All 3 were nominated, but they said, not interested. We're okay. You don't need to recognize us. Thank you, but thank you. So again, you pick and choose. You may be watching the same. I want to get nominated for this. Great, you can go get nominated for this guy. But you may say, I don't really want to get nominated. Well, here's what some people who said good things about him said, and here's what some people said bad things about World Economic Forum. Let me read both of them to you.
What are we supposed to learn from this? Like, even in theory, what is it supposed to achieve?
Atmospheric rivers.
It's basically like the goal is like, can I find something with a bunch of names and like sentences that seem spooky, and then can I link it all together and use it to sell you my particular conspiracy theory? This is a trash video. There's literally no value in watching this. But I mean, there's no value for an intelligent person watching this. But like for people that are in the Matrix or whatever, conspiracy driven or whatever, having like all the names and everything like seems really compelling. But I still think that the like the number one way to the thing is, when I talk to people like this, is like what I would say is like, okay, give me like a smoking gun. Like, tell me something bad that's happened. Like, show me an actual bad thing. Why are we... Like, what's happening? What's the bad part here? But they never actually have that. It's just like grand conspiratorial stuff.
I appreciate that, Destiny.
All right, bye.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.